Advisory Group, Agile Advisory Group. Okay. All right. Pete, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Amazing. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone, and good evening for those of you joining us in Australia. That's Pete. Welcome to our first Lunch and Learn PMI ACP session. This is more of an information session in regards to the PMI ACP certification, especially for those of you who are interested in taking the certificate and those of you who are already in the pipeline to sit for the exam. Today, our guest is from the Sub-Saharan Africa Agile Think Tank Group. I know most of you know the group as the Agile Think Tank, which is now also known as the Agile Advisory Group. It's a group of 5 experts from the Sub-Saharan Africa region. Their main role is to advocate for agile practices across the region. So I want to welcome Pete to lead us in today's session. Over to you, Pete, and welcome everyone. Thanks.
All right, good day, everyone. I say good day because we are joining from different part of Africa and of the world as well. It's evening where I am currently. I am African, and so from my mind. So I just want to say welcome to today and thank you for joining the first Lunch and Learn session. Our topic today will be uh, PMI ACP Unboxed. Is it the right certification for you? So what I would say is over the next 30 to 45 minutes, depending on how far we've gone, we'll be able to explore what PMI ACP certification is, who is it designed for, and how it compares with other certification. Now, let me just let you know a little bit of information. This is really not technical at all. It's all just getting familiar with the PMI ACP. The Agile Advisory Group, we just thought about, okay, cool. In order to be all encompassing, let's start from the scratch. So you might be hearing, in fact, it's most likely you'll be hearing everything you've learned about, about the PMI ACP already. However, there is another session next week where we'll be going deeper. The whole essence is to make sure that we do not lose anyone as we go through these lunch and learn sessions about PMI ACP. Now, PMI ACP is a very good, certification to have, and that is why we want to start from the very, very scratch. All right. So I crave your indulgence. I crave your indulgence to just stick around with me. Let's build it together, and let's build on what we have built today in the next coming session. The second thing I want to mention is I am a little bit under the weather, so you can see my voice is a little bit cracky. And so just bear with me if I'm a little bit slow in delivering this, but we will get there together. The promise is I will show up, and here we are. Let's get it started. All right, a little bit about me. My name is Peter Motoshaw, for those who don't know me. And I think I met a couple of you. They just concluded Global Summit Series Africa in Kigali. So it's really a very good opportunity to meet people face to face. Here are my details. I support Pete Loring Consulting, which is an authorized training partner with PMI. And of course, part of the certifications that we teach is PMI ACP. I also got my PMI ACP quite a long time ago, and of course, I continue to improve by applying the knowledge of PMI ACP in my daily work. I work as an enterprise agile coach in organizations all across the world, particularly in Australia, where I support a lot of large organizations, and I work with executives to co-create lasting change in organizations. So If you want to have a discussion around Agile, particularly all the frameworks and methods under the big umbrella of Agile, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. We will definitely have a chat. And of course, you will be seeing more of me and of the Agile think tank or Agile advisory group members in upcoming Launch and Learn sessions. All right, let's go straight into it. Again, if you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat. We will get to it at the end of the session. Today, we just want to look at why Agile certifications matter. We also want to dwell on what PMI ACP is all about. I will look a little bit about the eligibility criteria, and definitely we will explore. I thought I will go on to the PMI website to really show you around the PMI ACP page on PMI website, just to familiarize your people that have never been there or that are not familiar with it, to show you. I'll talk about how PMI ACP compares with a few other certifications. And this is my humble opinion that I'll be sharing with you, having done quite a number of PMI other Agile certification myself. And from my heart, this is not on the slide, the career impact and benefit. Definitely, I'll be talking about what I have achieved and also applied in the work front and also in my personal life using what I learned in PMI HCP. At the end of the day, we'll wrap up with some Q&A at the end. All right, so let's go straight into it. Now, the very first question I thought I would ask you guys is, why does Agile certification matter? It's no longer a case of software delivery organizations or teams using Agile. Agile has cut across a lot of growing industries, is growing like wildfire across many organizations, many sectors, many industry. And if you attended my session in Kigali, I actually talked about how I applied lean and agile methods in different organizations across Africa. I believe one of the sessions in the future, we might be able to bring that back so that we can share for people who were not in Kigali. I just want to say that Agile is a mindset and an approach that is shaping industries, whether it's finance, healthcare, government, not-for-profit, medical, name it, IT, finance, I've mentioned that earlier on, energy, name it. Agile is cutting across all these industries. And the demand, for faster delivery, for iterative delivery, for adaptive delivery is really, really much at this time, which means organizations are continue. I don't want to say embracing. They continue to embrace, the adaptive nature of, of Agile. Even with the rise of hybrid environment is actually growing, which means organizations and sectors that are known for practically the traditional ways of Agile, of project management, are now embracing Agile ways of working because of its versatility. Now, this is where your certifications come in. Certifications help you to validate your knowledge, not only that, to demonstrate credibility and to open career opportunities. And I'll explain that a little bit. Let me face the camera, right? So I'm saying this because no matter how much you know, if you want to change your job or if you want to enter into the world of work, or even if you really want to, get a promotion, right? Is the certification like PMI ACP is, is like you knocking the door, right? When you knock the door and they open the door to say who is there, the admission could be your certification. And it could be the distinguishing factor between you and the next person that is also knocking the door. whether they will allow you to have a seat in the house or say, no, don't enter. That is where the certification really, really matters. So they help you validate your knowledge. They also demonstrate your credibility. And we will get more into how we can see the credibility that PMI ACP brings into your credential. Definitely, without saying, it opens career opportunity. The PMI ACP is really unique because it blends various Agile frameworks. It's not just Scrum, because a lot of people in the industry, they just say, I'm a Scrum Master, 2-day course, and then they know so much about course. But what about all the other methods that sits under the big umbrella of Agile? How much of them do you know? How much of them do they know? And this is what we are looking at. And that's where the word validation, that's where it comes from, validation across multiple Agile frameworks. And that's the edge that PMI ACP has over other certification. Now, let's look at it. Let me start by saying that Agile is an approach to project management that really emphasizes one, the flexibility of what you want to deliver, the collaboration that it requires to deliver it, and the continuous improvement over time that you expect in your product. The approach that really put all of those into perspective is Agile. And then for some of you that have experience and also some Agile knowledge, you will know that Agile originally was developed for software development, but it has since been adopted across various industries and domains, like I mentioned earlier on. And why is it so? This is because of its effectiveness. This is because it has the capability to navigate uncertainty and deliver value incrementally, right? So if anything happens to a project, for example, if money finishes, if the budget is cut, if time is a problem, you will know that you will have delivered something tangible. That is why the incremental approach is very, very, very key, right? Is very key. Now, the PMI ACP is a certification by PMI, right, for Agile professionals. Now, by all means, it is one of the most robust Agile certifications that I have had. I have sat for and had, and it has been very helpful. Like I said earlier on, I don't want to say several, I have many Agile certifications that I have used and I've sat for and I've done their certifications. But PMI ACP has, a good grasp, of all the frameworks and methods that I can think of that can be useful in most organizations. And that is why I said it covers multiple frameworks. Think about Scrum, think about Kanban, think about Lean, XP, design thinking, scaled agile ways of working. In fact, it's now even much more robust because we now have the adaptation of discipline agile into the new PMI ACP curriculum, which makes it even much more robust. We will get to this in the next session where we dwell deeper into PMI ACP. Now, the good thing about PMI ACP is it is globally recognized, which means if you get an interview with an industry subject matter expert, someone like myself, if I sit in front of you and you bring a certification from a 2-day course and you bring PMI ACP, I will first of all look at the person with the PMI ACP, because before they can say they've sat and passed the certification, the exam, they must have first of all validated their knowledge, practical knowledge, and also sat for a very rigorous examination. So it is globally recognized. All right. It also validates the practical side of things, which means you should be able to demonstrate to PMI during your application that you have the minimum requirement of experience and knowledge before you can sit for the exam. And we'll get to that in one of the slides ahead. All right, so let's go next. Now, the question is, who should consider PMI ACP? Now, if you are a current project manager, no matter how long you've been practicing project management, the world of work these days is merging all these frameworks and methods into one single umbrella. Gone are the days when you want to follow methods, highly methodical projects, right? The world of work and project, the world of project has evolved to a level where uh, the hybrid approach is the way to go, which means project managers need to now tailor their delivery based on what they are encountering. So project managers should definitely consider PMI ACP, if not for anything, just to have a very good grasp of what Agile is all about, especially from the PMI perspective. If you're a Scrum Master or a product owner, you've already done your 2-day Scrum Master course, you're already practicing, but you want to deepen your knowledge. Like I said, it is not only about Scrum, it's not only about Kanban, it's several other, ways of working, frameworks that are just being put together in the PMI ACP box, right? And so if you're a Scrum Master, you definitely would be, you should consider PMI ACP. If you're a team lead, you have people reporting to you, right? You should consider PMI ACP. And all of these roles that I'm showing, they might be called something else in your organization, right? It doesn't really matter. What matter is people that find themselves in the world of work, definitely, excuse me, definitely should consider certifying themselves in PMI ACP. Now, much more important if you're looking at transitioning from a traditional project manager to a robust agile project manager, then you might want to consider these as well. So, what am I saying in essence in one simple sentence, right? If you're blending multiple frameworks in your daily work, or maybe you are transitioning from traditional project management into agile, PMI ACP can be a strong fit for you from two perspectives. From number one is from your own knowledge acquisition, and number two is for the organization that you either want to work with or that you're currently working with. So you should consider PMI ACP. The next question is why? Why PMI ACP? How does it compare to other certifications? How does it compare to other certifications, right? Now, we have quite a number of other certifications, and then I'll be naming some of them right now, not because I want to ditch them but I just want to name them just for you to understand that the focus of all these other certifications compared to what we have in PMI ACP. Now, so the PMI ACP is Project Management Institute Agile Certified Professional, right? Which is really structured by PMI as a certification for Agile professionals. It covers multiple frameworks. It is recognized globally. Definitely validate your experience. Now, if you want to compare these, right? Let's look at SAFE, for example, right? SAFE is is a certification that focuses, right, on scaled agile. If you have agile that for organizations that are more than 50 practitioners up to thousands of practitioners, say if we say, yeah, we got you covered, right? We got you covered. If you do any of all those Scrum Master certification, the 2-day courses that I mentioned earlier on, Scrum.org, um, Scrum Alliance, and so on and so forth, right? They are narrow and Scrum specific, which means they teach you so much about Scrum, and then you will know Scrum. However, when you get to the to your workplace, to the organizations, to the sectors that you work with, you do not know what is going to come your way in terms of project. Excuse me. As a matter of fact, as a matter of fact, the organization that you work for or that I work with, right? They are complex environment. We deal with complex adaptive systems, which means we don't know what is going to happen. A change somewhere in the organization can trigger ripple effect of other changes, and it's going to be very difficult to really, manage those changes. Now, your knowledge as a project manager, as a project consultant, as an agile professional of all these frameworks will help you to create a fit for purpose, adaptive way to deliver those projects and to solve those problems. And that is why we say that PMI ACP is broad. It covers multiple agile approaches. It is quite flexible. It makes it flexible across industry. Again, I'm going to mention that with the new discipline Agile, DASSM that is pulled into the curriculum, it makes it even more robust. It makes it even more robust. So if you want a single certification that demonstrates your versatility across multiple frameworks, guess what? PMI ACP stands out. PMI ACP stands out in it. It is by far one of it's about the best single certification that touches both single frameworks and also scaled delivery as well. All right, I think I've done justice to this slide. The question is PMI ACP right for you? Well, you can see on the screen, let's start with the statistics. 86% of PMI ACPs that are qualified, they qualify for new opportunities, which means it is um, statistically proven, as I recorded on PMI website as well, that 86% of PMI ACPs qualify for new opportunities. Like I said, if you sit in front of me in an interview, and then I've got two candidates that are equally experienced, one has PMI ACP and one does not, I will look at the PMI ACP, you know, not I've been more interested in PMI ACP. We also know that 84% of PMI ACP gained recognition for career advancement. And this is a non-fact because it happened to me as well, right? It happened to me as well. People will see you for who you are. You open your mouth and talk based on what you've learned in class and also in preparing for your exam, and you'll be able to prove, and gain recognition for career advancement. Now, the question that you want to ask yourself is, do I work in an environment where multiple agile approaches are blended? Gone are the days when people are saying, oh yeah, we're a Scrum team, and so we only do Scrum. The world of work has changed this way these days. And so I want to challenge anyone that think that they do not work in with multiple agile approaches, daily. So if your environment has multiple blended approaches of agile, then you want to consider PMI ACP. The second question I would like to ask, I would like you to ask yourself is, do I want to demonstrate credibility across industry, not just in IT, not just in IT? You see, in those days, people would say, well, are you working for a software development organization? Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Agile works for you. Are you working for an IT company? Oh, yeah. Agile works for you. But these days, even the so-called rigid environment where, you know, in those days, Agile was not heard. They are now really embracing Agile. And that is where your demonstration of credibility across this industry is important. For example, take me as an example. I've worked in virtually most of the sectors that you can ever think of, be it government, energy, IT, finance, not-for-profit, medical, energy, and so on and so forth. So if you want to demonstrate credibility across these kind of industries, then you can definitely look at PMI ACP. One other questions, right? One other question is, am I ready to invest in preparing for a globally recognized exam? If the answer to that question is yes, then look at it. Now, I've got a couple of years ago, is a true life story. A couple of years ago, I was recruiting for a role of a Scrum Master, and someone said, "Oh yeah, I'm certified as a Scrum Master." And then by the time I asked which of the certifications do you have you done? Turns out is one of those, certifications that I could not verify their credibility, and global recognition. And all I could say is, well, I'm still definitely looking at other candidates, and of course within the other candidates I was looking at, there are people that have much more recognized certification, PMI ACP, and I definitely they got the role, not because they have the certification alone, but because they could defend their knowledge. They could definitely demonstrate their credibility with the certification. So if you want to invest in preparing for a globally recognized exam, look at PMI ACP. Well, it's not the easiest of exam, but that's where the credibility and global recognition comes in. That's where it comes in. So in a nutshell, if your answers lean towards yes to all the three questions I've asked you, yeah, PMI ACP could be the right next step for you. It could be the right next step for you. But I just definitely want you to consider, these statistics very, very well, because it is very important. All right. So the exam structure, exam is 120 minutes, 20 questions. It's a multiple choice questions. And it's a 3-hour exam. We have 4 agile domains. It used to be 7. Now the new is 4 agile domains, and it also focuses on your practical application of what you know. And you can see the the domains here. We have the mindset domain, which talks about 28% of your exam. We have leadership, which is about 25%. We have the product, which is about 19%. And we have the delivery, which is about 28%. Altogether, it is 100%. Now, this is what the exams look like. 120 multiple choice question, 3 hours, and you will, after 3 hours, you would be, if you pass, definitely you will have, your certification in PMI ACP, which is a very good certification to have. We'll talk more about this exam structure in the future, but I just thought I should show you. But what I want to do in a couple of minutes is to explore the ECO, what we call the exam content outline. Exam content outline. Now, this was put together in November 2024, just of recent, and it's the improved, PMI ACP exam content outline. And I'll quickly jump online. Okay, I need to ask a question now. What can you see? Can you see my browser, or you can see my PPT? What can you see? please.
Pete, we can see your browser for
Okay,
PMI.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. That's what I want to show. Thank you so much, Anthony. All right, so this is definitely, thank you, Abdullahi, for and Esther. I can see that in the chat. Let me put this in the chat. This is the page for PMI ACP. So if you are looking at PMI ACP, this is your friend. You need to get into onto this page and look through it. In fact, this is your starting point. You want to know what the certification is all about. You want to know what your eligibility, you want to know if it's truly for you before you even start, because that is the starting point. Now, some certifications will say, "Oh no, you don't need any experience. Just come for a 2-day course, and then you have your paper, and then you're certified." And then they throw you down into the world of work, and then you figure it out yourself. PMI ACP is not like that. PMI ACP is saying you need like 2 years of experience, right? And once you are able to do that, you will be able to gain experience with the industry's only agnostic, experience-based, ISO certified or accredited exam, right? And so, like I said, almost all the methods under the big umbrella of Agile are tested. We'll get to the pricing in the future, but that's not where I want to go today. Just also want to really look at this exam content outline. Again, just before I go, this page on PMI website is full of information, so just look at it. This is where I want to go, right? I want to go to where we want to look at the exam content outline, right? Everything you need for the details that you need for your exam, your eligibility criteria, and the application process is contained in the exam content outline. So if you log in, you can download. I've already downloaded one, but I want to show you how to do it. So if you click download, definitely it will open up in another browser if your browser is set to that, just like this, right? Like I said, it is this is the exam content outline for the PMI ACP. Now, this is what we've got downloaded. So again, maybe I should just put this in the chat for people who would love to look at the exam content outline later on. It is freely available on the PMI website. Okay, so this was definitely put together and released in November 2024 by the Project Management Institute. And definitely it is the general information about certification program. And like I said, we have 4 domains. I've already covered that, but let's look into what each of the domains, what it looks like. There is an introduction that if you want to read that, but this is where I'm going. The following table identifies the proportion of questions from each of the domain that will appear in your examination. For example, anything around mindset, that is domain 1, will take 28% of your exam, right? Leadership will be 25%. The product side of things will be 19%. And the domain 4 is around delivery, which is about 28%. So we have 22, 28%, 25, and 19. Altogether gives you 100%. But what does each of the domain and what do they contain, right? So the exam content outline talks about domains, talks about task, and talks about enablers. When you hear domain, it is the high-level knowledge area, right? That is very important to Agile practitioners. So as an Agile practitioner, PMI is saying that you should be versatile with mindset, you should be versatile with the leadership side of things, you should be versatile with product, and you should know how to deliver. However, under each domain, there are responsibility of Agile practitioners under each domain, and that's what the task under the ECO is talking about. Now, we also have enablers. Enablers are examples of the kind of work that you can find within the task. Now, what I wanted to mention is now that there are 1,000,001 enablers out there. All right. What PMIs have done is they have put together a couple of very, very popular enablers that if you know, it helps you to build your competence, and then you can go into the world of work and demonstrate that you can actually work in an agile environment. So you have your domain, you have your task, and you have your enablers. All right. So, excuse me. So I will encourage you to look at all of those in detail. Domain one, right? We are saying that an agile practitioner should at least have a very good understanding of the agile mindset. Not only that, the principles and also the application of it. The application of it, and that is what makes PMI, ACP different from other 2-day courses that gives you a certification, because we are able, PMI ACP certified professionals are able to apply, and experiment with the mindset and principles that we have learned in preparation for the exam. And then we have tasks like experiment early, embrace the agile mindset, promote collaboration within the team environment, transparency, how to build transparency. Psychological safety is quite very, very important. Short feedback loops is very important. How do we embrace change? All of these are ways that we can apply, agile within the first domain, which is the mindset. So if you are able to understand all these 7 tasks, right, within mindset, and your 28% in the exam is almost sure. All right. Now, secondly, domain 2 talks about leadership. When we talk about leadership, every agile practitioner is actually a leader, right? We talked about true leadership. We talked about servant leadership, right? And so we look at the necessary knowledge and skills that agile practitioners need or require to lead within an agile team. So agile practitioners don't only have the theoretical understanding of these methods, of these frameworks, but they can actually apply these principles in a group settings, in a team settings. It talks about all of these skills that you put together so that you can collaboratively work in your team and lead your team. We talk about empowering your teams as a task, facilitating problem resolution. Most of the time, it's not about, oh, there's a problem. The question is, how do we get to the root cause of that problem? And so we have the root cause analysis that we need to do. We want to talk about how do we promote knowledge sharing, right? And so gone are the days when you wait till the end of your project before you do a lessons learned assessment. We do it on an ongoing basis through retrospective these days. So promoting knowledge sharing, the promotion of agile mindset principles and practices, shared vision and purpose, facilitate conflict management. Now, not all conflict is bad. We have good conflict, right? It takes a leader within the team to identify the good conflict and the conflict that could lead to a world war. So we want to be able to do that. So identify the root cause of problems and of conflict within the team and be able to resolve them. These 6 tasks make what we call the leadership, which is domain 2. Now, go on to domain 3, which is 19%. It talks about products. What is project management without product management, right? So we are talking about Agile practitioners that have deep understanding of frameworks that could let them deliver good product, right? Things from how to create product roadmaps, how to create user stories, how to develop and manage backlogs for teams. They are all here under the product, especially when you talk about the life cycle of a project from beginning to the end. That is all under product, and then it's 19%, which is domain 3. And now we have just 4 tasks under here. The very first one is refining product backlog, right? Manage increments. What is an increment, right? We can talk about that in the future, but an increment is something tangible that you can deliver at the end of a cycle, right? Visualize work. How do you make your work visible to everybody that needs to use the content of your backlog? And how do you manage value delivery? All of these are tasks on a product, which is domain 3. And then we have domain 4, which talks about delivery. Now, this is the core of even the PMP exam, PMP certification, because we just want to deliver value at the end of the day. The same thing with PMI ACP. There is a focus on delivery, right? So we have a couple of tasks there, 7 of them. Seek early feedback, manage agile metrics, impediments. How do you manage risk and impediments? How do you eliminate wastes? Talking about lean there. How do you perform continuous improvement? And how do you engage your customers? Stakeholder management and engagement, and flow. How do you optimize the flow? These are 7 tasks under the 4th domain, which is delivery. 28% of your exam questions. Again, if you are able to demonstrate that you understand the task fully, your 28% in this domain is almost certain. And then we have all other tools and techniques, which is not exhaustive. It's a lot of list, but PMI has put together a couple of them that you can use and understand during your knowledge. We have knowledge and skills, eligibility, and I think I've mentioned that earlier on. If you have a secondary school diploma and above, that's what is required. Definitely, you have 28 hours of formal Agile training, which you can have with Pitlorian Consulting. And it used to be 21 hours, but now it is 28 hours. Now, when it comes to your professional Agile experience, if you have 2 years of Agile experience in the last 5 years, that is good. You are eligible. Even if you have 1 year of Agile experience, including a degree from a global accredited center program, right? There are partners, accredited center with PMI. If you have a degree from such school or institution, you only need to demonstrate 1 year of Agile experience. Also, if you have 1 year experience and an active Agile certification, right? Maybe you've done a SAFe for teams, you've done you've done CSM or PSM, then you can say tender that certification, which if it's still current and you earned more than 1 year ago, then 1 year experience is good. But if you are a current PMP exam, PMP certification holder, you just need to tender that. That will also surface for you. And I guess that's all I want to share in the ECO today, right? About the ECO. But one more thing, sorry. About the exam, I told you it's 120 exam questions. However, 100 of them are scored and 20 are not scored. The problem is we don't know the unscored 20. And so I always kind of encourage people to take all the 120 as if they are the one that will determine your mark. So 120 questions in 3 hours. And I'm just going to stop here and go back to my presentation, round up, and we can have a quick discussion. Okay, that was really very good run through. I just thought it's very important for everyone to be on the same page because it is one document, the examination content outline is one document that most people do not look at, but it is quite very important to the success of in your PMI ACP exam. What I wanted to talk about is next steps, right? Again, I want to encourage you to explore the PMI website fully. I also will encourage you to enroll in PMI ACP training. I mean PMI ACP training over there. Next session will bring a discounted link for us to do a PMI ACP training. That's going to be my contribution to the group. If you want to, even if you have done your training in the past, you want to do a, you want to do it again just to refresh. You want to do a refresher. Feel free to enroll. The link will come in the next session, and I promise it's going to be subsidized. Of course, I will also encourage you to connect with peers, especially those who hold the PMI ACP, because it is important to learn from people who have actually gone ahead. Feel free to reach out to me using my, maybe on LinkedIn or even send an email to me. I'll be happy to support you in your journey. So definitely connect with people that have done PMI ACP in the past. I'm just going to put my contact in the chat, and let's see if this is enter. Beautiful. So that's my email address and also my LinkedIn profile. So you can connect with me if you want to have a chat around PMI ACP or Agile in general. Definitely, let's look at study resources. You will get that in class when you enroll for your 28-hour course. After the course, you will definitely get some more supportive, what's it called? Supporting documents that you can actually feast on, which is quite important. And I think this is where I'm just going to really stop a little bit. But what I want to say is there is one more lunch and learn session in terms of what we are talking about. Today is just a foundation, giving you generic information, right? In the next one, we're going to talk about the PMI ACP exam itself, tips, tools, timeline, and also the exam, how do you do your training and stuff like that. So we'll bring that to you next week. All right, so I think this is all I have for you. I promised 45 minutes. It is 49. Well, maybe we didn't start until maybe a couple of minutes after, which means I'm still in line with my promise. So if there are any questions, let's talk about them. I hope this has been helpful to a lot of people on the call, especially if you're thinking about your PMI ACP exam on journey. Thank you so much. Anthony?
All right. Thank you, Pete, and thank you for that session. So, team, please, for those of you who've not joined the WhatsApp group, join the study group, and Pete also will be there. So for any questions that you may have, you can always reach out to Pete via his email, LinkedIn, as well as on the WhatsApp group where we have where the conversation will be ongoing. Also, Pete, I believe we're going to be sharing some questions also on the WhatsApp group just to keep the people engaged and also being able to respond to those people that will be having any questions in regards to the certification.
Yeah,
All right.
definitely. I will be there, Anthony, just to keep our engagement going and also to ensure that people have the support that they need.
Amazing, amazing. I see we already have at least 10 people who've joined. So the community is actually growing there. So it seems we already have 47 members. That's amazing. Continue joining. So the next Lunch and Learn session will be next week, same time on Thursday. So looking forward to your participation. Once again, Pete, I know it's late in Australia right now, but we really appreciate the time that you gave to the team tonight. Yes, Afua. Okay, it seems you're not able. Let's just give you the option to be able to unmute yourself. Just one moment. Seems you have one question there. Okay. Try to unmute yourself. Afua.
Okay. Hello, please, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Yes,
you.
I can hear you.
Okay. Thank you so much. This was a very insightful session. And I just have like 2 questions. So my first question is like, does the ACP certification sort of supersede the PMP certificate? That's one. And then with the 2 years of experience as a requirement to sit for the ACP exam, is it like a general 2 years work of experience or 2 years as a PMP?
All right. Yep. So first of all, your first question is very direct. Let me go straight to that first question. It does not supersede PMP, right? PMP is what we call the project management professional. It's one of the gold standard um, certifications from PMI. It's one of those certifications that I hold very dearly. I won't lose it for any reason. So it doesn't supersede it. PMP stands on its own. PMI ACP stands on its own. PMP tells the world of work that this person is certified and accredited as a project manager. The PMI ACP says this person is a practitioner of agile ways of working. And so if there's any agile delivery coming, if you have your PMI ACP, you'll be able to lead and deliver the agile project. So there are 2 different certifications and let it stand aside.
Okay.
All right.
Well understood. Yeah.
To your second question, we are looking at 2 years of agile experience. 2 years of agile experience. Now, you don't have to be a team lead in the agile world, but if you work in a project that does some form of agile, that's what PMI is interested in, right? Okay. PMI is saying, have you been a developer before? Or have you been a support worker in a project that use agile ways of working? Even if you are just a project administrator, but you support team members in an agile world, you can count your 2 years of experience. So far, you can demonstrate it and you can prove it. Now, you need to be able to prove it. You can't just put something there because PMI does audit, right? If they do audit, right? If they do audit and then they ask you, come and defend it, and you can't defend it, then that will lead to chaos. Now, I believe that if you have PMP, do you have PMP certification?
Yes, please, I do.
Okay, cool. Your problem is solved. You actually do not need to say, I want to demonstrate my 2 years of experience. Your active PMP, this is the last one there. Active PMP certification will suffice for your professional agile experience. which means what you need to show PMI is, at least I've got something, a diploma, right? And I've sat for 28 hours of formal training, for example, with Pete Loring Consulting, which is a PMI ATP, authorized training partner. I've attended class with Pete Loring Consulting. They taught me for 4 days. And here is my certificate of attendance. And I am also an active PMP holder. These are the three that you need to show, and you can go ahead and schedule your exam.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, the session is recorded. I believe this will be shared very, very soon. Is there an authorized textbook for PMI ACP, which is updated to the current ECL? Well, there are quite a number of textbooks that you can use. Whether there is one that is now, updated to the current ACO is what I cannot categorically say right now. But this is one thing I'm going to show you. If you attend an instructor-led training, for example, from Pete Loring Consulting, we are very sure that you'll be prepared for the exam, which means after the exam, all I will encourage you to do is go back, go through the training package, the training courseware, and also the notes that you take in class. Have a conversation with your trainer in preparation for your exam, and then that will be good, especially when it comes to the questions that will need to test your not only your knowledge but your experience as well. So those are the things that you need to just get a hang of. So I don't want you to say, you finish your exam to your training today, and then tomorrow you're going to sit for your exam. You need personal preparation. You need personal preparation. In fact, when you're ready, you will know. I keep telling people that have gone through the PMI certification with me that when you are ready, you will definitely know, because the confidence level will just rise and you'll know you're ready for the exam. But however, it is very important for you to do the training, because the training will remove a lot of uncertainty, a lot of knowledge gap from you, and help you. It will accelerate your understanding of the concepts, of the frameworks, of the methods under the big umbrella of Agile, and it will be easy, especially following the CCO. Simulators. I believe there is Anthony. I think this one I might leave it to you. There is a simulator for PMI ACP, which is the study hall, PMI ACP study hall. There is a study hall which you can get. I believe that's still the best I will tell you to get. However, there are so many simulators out there. But again, everyone that has that in the market, I can't guarantee what they have, but I know the source of the study hall, which is from PMI itself. So study hall could be a good one. Again, if you attend a training session with Pete Loring Consulting, for example, we will also deal with a few questions in the class to prepare you for the exam. So that's that, Peter. And thank you, Anthony, for the study hall link.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to say one more thing. Guys, reach out to me, especially if you're looking for your training. Happy to support you in that one. We can talk about that. We're going to talk deeply a little bit more about that next week when we have the second session. I think this is where I think we're going to stop today, Anthony.
Okay, thanks once again, Pete, and thank you to all the people who are able to attend. So we connect next week and we continue our conversation on the WhatsApp group. Thank you, everyone, and have a good rest of your day. Thanks and bye.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing, for sticking around, and your questions as well.
Thank you, bye. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.